A few times on this channel, I've talked about my iPhone 13 mini. This is a great little phone if you want to keep one foot in the smart world, but you don't want to move to one of those 6-inch devices that have become the norm. But folks, today I want to talk about and show you a device that is even smaller, and I have it in this box right here. But first, if you don't know me, I'm Spencer, and I like to talk about simple living, frugality, and digital minimalism. Inside this package is a phone that I've wanted to try for a very long time, the Unihertz Jelly Star. Now, as you know from my iPhone 13 mini, I like a small smartphone. If I'm going to use a smartphone at all, I like a little tool like that gets out of the way but allows me to have those features in case I need it. Now, the Jelly Star is one of the smallest smartphones on the market, and it is a very cool tool. I've been pretty curious about this device since I first heard about it, and I'm very excited to have it in front of me now. So a couple weeks ago, I reached out to Unihertz and I asked them to send me one of these units so I could do a review. This is not a sponsored video from Unihertz. They don't care to see the video before it comes out or even after, honestly. There's no talking points. I don't have to say anything. My thoughts are my own, but thank you to Unihertz for sending this out. I really do appreciate it. Now with that out of the way, let's open up this package. I have my girlfriend's Japanese knife and I'm going to use that to open it because people like that from the last one. Let's just open the device first and we'll start there. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's a shine to this package. It actually has kind of like a holographic nature to it. Looks very cool. Very nice packaging. I'm very impressed by the packaging so far. Whoa. Guys, look at how small this thing is. Okay, well just quickly, we're gonna, again, use our restraint. We'll come back. We got a USB A to C, I'm imagining. I wish they would have included a C to C, but A to C, it's all right. This is cute. I heard about this and I'm very excited about this. A Unihertz wrist strap. Okay, moving on here. The device itself. Guys, this thing is next level small. It comes with a clear case on the phone itself to begin with. Here it is. And the device comes with a screen protector pre-installed, so you don't have to worry about bubbles or anything like that. They've done it in the factory. Look at how small this thing is. Look, I've seen pictures of this thing online. I've watched a couple of reviews of it. Nothing was gonna prepare me for how small this device is. It's so small. This is where the charging port goes. It's on the side, which is the first phone I've ever seen that the charging port is on the side. I guess they just had to do that in order to cram everything in here. And I really appreciate that they include one of these cases because this is a very niche device and you're kind of going to want a case for it because it's just a little guy. Again, nobody else makes a phone like this. There's probably not really many third-party cases available for it. Now this device comes in 3 different colors. One is red, one is blue, and one is this black or smoke or whatever they call it version. All of them have this kind of clear look to them, very retro tech inspired when you can see all the internals of the device. A lot of people love that and I am included in that. It kind of reminds me of like the Garmin E-Trek series hiking GPSs. I've never really held one of those, but I actually think those are larger than this. This thing is one of the smallest devices I've just ever seen of any kind. It's smaller than like most MP3 players too. Okay, before we proceed, I just want to unbox this other thing that Unihertz sent me. Now this was something that I requested as well, looking through the accessories on the website that Unihertz offered for this device. And I just thought that this was really cool. You might not know what it is right off the bat. This is an armband. This is a running armband for the Jelly Star. Remember back in the day, people used to put their iPod and they used to strap it to their arm when they would go out for a run? Same idea applies here. Let's install it. Let's just give it a shot. We gotta give it a shot. You gotta do it. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. It's crazy how small it is. Like it sits out a bit far on my arm, I would say. It feels like it jiggles a little. That might just be my arm. But no, I think this is a great little thing for running. If you don't want to hold anything and you want to go for a run, this is awesome. What a cool accessory. So that also comes with a clip here as well. So you can put that on there and now you have like a belt clip. You can clip it onto, I don't even know, anything you wanted to. So Unihertz also makes something like this for bicycles as well, that you could clip the phone onto your handlebars. Unfortunately, I don't think they have this for the Jelly Star model itself, but based on what pieces I have here, I think there's gonna be some way that this can be MacGyvered in order to get this on my handlebars for my bike. This is a device clearly that is made for people on the go, people who want to have a phone that, you know, does the phone things for them, but that gets out of the way as well. And that's where the size really comes in. Just the fact that it has a wrist strap, I feel like that signifies that it's for people on the go. Let's fire this thing up. I wonder if that's a fingerprint scanner. We're about to find out. Does it have battery? Uh-oh, folks. Is it dead? Actually, this could be the power button. There we go. Okay, so it's not the red that's the power button, it's the top one. I don't know, I figured the colored button was the power button, but must be like a programmable button. Man, the screen is so small. I'm just gonna do a basic setup with this now, and then I'll show you guys the home screen once I'm in. Okay, so I got the Jelly Star set up and I'm in, and look at this thing. Navigating around on this thing, it's really weird. Like, you'd think that a phone that is this small would be really imprecise with the touchscreen, but it actually is quite good. Just setting it up my accounts and stuff, getting into here, getting set up at the very beginning of turning this device on, I was just so impressed. Like, I didn't really miss any keys, even though I was only typing on this bottom portion of the screen and it's so small. Before we go any further, let's just talk about the size of this thing. Look at this device in comparison to my iPhone 13 mini. When I first got the 13 mini, it felt like I had an iPhone 4 or something. It felt really, really small. But now just taking a look at it side by side to the Jelly Star, it's insane. So as you can see, this phone is pretty neat. It comes with Android 13. So Android 13 is not the newest Android, and I don't think it's really getting any updates as far as Android OSs are going, but it's still pretty new. It's relatively new compared to some of the ones that are still out there on older phones. As a heads up, I also think this device isn't really getting any more security patches, or if it does, it's getting them very sparingly. I personally wouldn't worry too much about using this device, even though it doesn't receive a ton of security patches. It's still gonna work fine for you, especially if you're using it as more of a digital minimalist and not doing a lot of things like banking or anything on this device. You have absolutely nothing to worry about. I've also read a lot of things online about people saying that this whole security patch thing is kind of overblown, and it's a bit of a way to get us to be forced in our minds to upgrade our devices to one that does have supported security patches, and that using an older device that maybe doesn't receive so many of those upgrades, it still doesn't really put you at that much of an increased risk. That being said, I'm no expert in this, and I'm just gonna say, use at your own risk, but I'm gonna be using it. This phone is also not very expensive. It's $219 US to pick one of these up. In Canada, I think I've seen them on AliExpress for around $275. So not bad at all. And I mean, this is a lot cheaper than most of the digital minimalist kind of dumb phones that you see on the market. And it does a whole lot more. And size-wise, it's actually the most minimal of all of them. We'll go through the device a bit more, and I'll tell you based on my preliminary kind of first looks, whether I would recommend it and who I see this device being for. Let's take a look at the camera. I just did a little pinch zoom here on my video, and I'm filming my camera. And yeah, I think this looks pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with the quality for a camera, you know, of this this price. It's not bad at all. It definitely, if you're just looking to document something, this is gonna be fine. Okay, so here's the selfie video camera. And I'm saying this is actually pretty good as well. I'm pretty impressed with the quality of this. Photo test. Again, this camera isn't crazy good. It's not the nicest thing you're ever gonna find, but it is fine for taking photos. And if you like that lo-fi look, you're gonna get it through this. This whole menu, I think, is to set up the LED lights on here so you can have it light up for incoming calls, for notifications. The flashlight is now off. Here it comes. Really cool. Really cool. I mean, that's neat. It's strange to me that more phone companies don't do innovative stuff like this, you know? The flashlight always has to just be the flash on the back of the phone, but like, what's stopping people from just putting LEDs all the way through the back of the case and having it light up in this way? It looks really neat. Just swiping through the phone generally, it feels very smooth. I'm not feeling any sort of slowness or sluggishness here. Now, because this is an Android device, you have access to the Google Play Store, and as a result, you can get pretty much any app you want on here. Any app that you could have on an Android, you can get on here. We'll do the YouTube test on here and see just how well you can distract yourself on such a small device.
You've likely seen this video before. Black t-shirt, minimalist room, same title and thumbnail too. And for a long time in the back of my mind, I felt like this is what's necessary if you want to make it here on YouTube. But then I came to this realization. This is the problem. This is a very different kind of why I'm so frugal video.
Guys, if you're not watching videos on full screen mode on YouTube, you're basically watching through like a postage stamp. It's so small. If you really wanted to watch something on here and you were really into distracting yourself, you could probably get it done. But for me, it would be more so going through tutorials and just finding out things I really need to know and I need to look at it on the go. I could know that I could do it through here and I'm going to be able to get that information and move on with my life. This device actually reminds me a lot of this one here, the CAT S22 Flip. I wanted to put them side by side because I had kind of thought about this before I actually had this device, the Jelly Star, that these things were kind of similar in the fact that they have very small touch screens and they're basically a full smartphone up here. But down here on the CAT S22, you get that physical keyboard if you want that. Now comparing them side by side, they are pretty close. The CAT S22 screen is still larger. It's a bit wider than what the Jelly Star has. But the Jelly Star's is a little bit taller, I guess, so it's pretty comparable. But honestly, I might be an outlier here in the dumb phone community. I don't love typing on a T9 keyboard. I mean, surely it's a nostalgic experience, but I don't really enjoy doing it. It's very, very slow to send messages. I liked on the Unihertz Titan 2 that I was basically just typing with a QWERTY keyboard. I could get pretty fast on that. But I actually don't mind typing on the very small keyboard of the Jelly Star. As I said, it is quite accurate to type with. Let's just type in cheap RV living. And I'm also typing with my pointer fingers only overhead on the phone for you guys. But yeah, there you go. There's no mistakes with that. And as you can see, the keyboard is extremely small. It's like taking up the bottom, I don't know, 30 or 40% of the screen. And yeah, like this image is extremely small. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to get a lot out of this personally. I think this would be a little much for me to try to use. Again, this is certainly good enough for using YouTube in a functional way. You're trying to find something out in particular. But I just can't see myself really wanting to distract myself on this device. It's almost like comically small. Let's take a look at Early Retirement Extreme. That's my classic place to go to look at the internet on my reviews. So here's the blog as it appears when I look at it on my iPhone. It's really, really hard to read. Like, it's very small. You want to zoom it into full screen, I guess, in order to make it legible. And you can definitely read it, but it's small. I mean, folks, again, what I can say about this device is the screen is comically small. It is the smallest screen I've ever seen. Now, this is not a full review because I have not had a lot of time to try this device. I've just unpacked it, but I do want to try Google Maps on this thing. Here we have my Google Maps set up for my big drive that I have to make tomorrow to the East Coast for work. So coming back to the same point, the screen is really, really small. I think if you're using a turn-by-turn based maps app and you have the speaking part of the map, so it'll tell you all the directions as you go turned on, then I think a device like this will be fine because you can just listen to it as you're driving. You don't even have to worry about looking at such a small screen. Now, I would normally run my GPS completely silent and I would just look at it when I need to know when the turn is coming. On a screen this small, I could see this being a bit of an issue. I'm going to be popping my SIM card into this device later today and I'm very excited to see if the Jelly Star can keep up with my life as a film and TV worker. I'm going away on a trip for 10 days out on the east coast of Canada. I'm leaving tomorrow and I'm going to be driving out there, so this thing will be put through the paces. Lastly, I just want to talk about who this device is for, and I want to compare it to another Unihertz device that I have, which is the Titan 2. Now, as you can see, positioned side by side, these are very different devices, similar interfaces, but very different tools. I could see both of these phones being used by digital minimalists, but definitely being used differently. To me, the Jelly Star is a phone that you want to get if you're looking for a smartphone that can do those bare necessities, if you want to have a map solution, if you want to be able to go on a browser or check your email occasionally, do any of those smart things that are more needs for you rather than wants. You want to have those bases covered for those odd times that you do need those smart features, but generally you want a phone that will get out of the way and that you can forget about. Having a phone that is this small, that is very easy to do. On the other hand, with the Titan 2, a phone that is very similar to the BlackBerry Passport, and I did a whole video about it if you want to check that out, I've linked it above. This thing has a massive screen. It's probably over twice the size of that of the Jelly Star, but this thing can be a productivity workhorse, and if you think about it more like a pocket computer, like truly a computer in your pocket, then I think you can reframe it to being a tool rather than a tool for distraction once again. And I say pocket computer, but this thing is so large that it pretty much won't fit in any pockets comfortably. It's much more of a back pocket phone or something that you might even want to put in a bag. As a result, I think this thing can also be minimally distracting because if you had this on your person at all times, a phone that was this large and this enticing and it was in your pocket at all times, I could see that getting distracting. But because of the form factor, it's something that I've been sticking in my bag much more often and pulling it out only when I need it. However, when I've been on flights and I've wanted to update my budget spreadsheet or different things like that, I'm much more comfortably able to do it on a device like the Titan rather than something like the Jelly Star. This would be extremely hard to mess around with a spreadsheet on. So really folks, I would think about it this way. If you're gonna be doing a lot of work on your device and you're seeing your phone as more of a pocketable computer, then I would want something like this with the physical keyboard and the larger screen for doing work. However, the reason that I chose the iPhone 13 mini in the first place is because I wanted a phone that was gonna stay out of my way. I wanted a very small phone that could slot into my life. I was gonna forget that I had it, but on those odd times that I did need a smart feature, it would be there for me. And I think the Jelly Star is an even better option potentially than the 13 mini in that respect. This is a device that I'm very excited to check out in the next couple of weeks, and I wanna say a big thank you to Unihertz for sending it over for testing. I know this is a pretty brief introduction to the Jelly Star. It's just my first impressions along with this unboxing. If you want to see a more fulsome video on the device, my friend Jose has done tons of videos on this device, and I'll link one of those in the description. If you have any questions about the Jelly Star or anything in particular you want me to test out with it, let me know in the comments section and I'll get to work on that. Thanks very much for watching, folks, and I will see you in the next one.